Hello everyone, author DL Tiller here, the Mistress of Horror. Welcome back to my channel. And it's time to do some live streams, as it is my schedule to stream on Tuesday nights and, of course, on Sunday nights. So it's Tuesday, so here we are again. Say hello and press that like button when you pop in here and let me know what you're working on tonight. I'm going to be doing reading sprints tonight because I have a book that I have to finish and leave a review for. So that's what I will be doing. And hello, Jocelyn, hi, and Elle, hello. Thanks for popping in. Let me know what you're working on or if you're just hanging tonight. Either way, it's fine. We're all things is work here, even hanging out. Trying to take a break. That's good too, to remember to do that. Um, I wish I was writing tonight, but I really do have to work on finishing this book because I have a deadline to get the review put out by Friday. So I always like to try to be a day ahead when I'm expected to give a review in. So I definitely will be. I think 2 hours is probably a good amount of time for me to finish. I had started, of course, so I shouldn't have too much of a problem getting it done by tonight or tomorrow. I would like to get the review in because it takes Amazon sometimes a little bit to put them in, but it really depends on how long your review is. But it is a book that's out, so it's not an ARC copy or anything like that. Um, but I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm hoping that my review rating changes before I get to the end of the book. And the thing is about it is it's a lot of like the type of things that I like in a book, and it's just not delivering on those things. One of my things that I don't like is too much telling. Like, I do like to see the characters interact without the narrator telling me every single thing that's happening instead of them doing it. You know what I mean? So that, I mean, there are writers like that, there are books like that, and some people like that style. I just don't. And I wasn't aware of the style. Not that you know what style the writer's going to go with when you get a book. So there's that. Um, so I'm not liking that. And then it's a little, since it's based in reality, being based in reality is also an issue because when you decide to base things in reality, you do have to make sure you know what you're talking about. Even if it's a fictional story, it is a made up story, but you are the one who elected to write a story based on reality. So there are certain things that you have to make sure is true if you're going to utilize them, especially if you're going to write about another culture that you were not born into and did not grow up in. So you do have to be careful that you are right about these things, especially if there are going to be people who read it who do know about set culture. So that's another thing that's going down. So I'm like, we shall see. I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at with that book. So, actually, I could probably share the title if anyone's interested in it. Let me see if I can pull up the name of it because I cannot. It's something about brewing coffee or something. I don't know. Let's see, because I'll be reading it on my Kindle. Let's see here. It is Brewed Awakening. Trying to see about the author by better. Let me just see there should be an overview of the cover. Yeah, it's Brewing Awakening by Beth Coffee, which is funny. That's her name. Coffee with a K. So yeah, it's not that it's. I mean, some people will enjoy it. I'm sure. Like, you know what I mean. I'm just not sure how I'm feeling at the moment. Right now, I'm at a 3. Right now, it's at a 3 star. Most books will start off at 5. Like, I got good expectations, and then it can work its way down. So right now it's sitting at a 3 for me. So anyway, all right, let me check if anybody else here popped in. I won't miss anyone. Hello, this radiant life. You're not late. You're just on time. We haven't started the first sprint yet. I was just chattering with the chat here, getting everybody on what I was doing tonight. Reading sprints for me tonight. So I need to get this book finished. I'm on chapter 3. So, but that's still, it's not a long book. It's about 164 pages. So I'm about 15 pages in, I think, something like that. So I'll probably get pretty far in 2 hour sprints. I mean, the 2 hours of the show, but we might go over a little bit over 2 hours so that way we can get 30-minute sprints in. So anyway, let's see what happens. All right, everyone. If you are, I know that Jocelyn said brainstorming today, and Al said working on my book. Good job. Written yourself into a corner. Yeah, it can happen. But at least you caught it. It's not like you know. So it's fine. That's what happens. That happens when you're writing. It can happen. Especially, I don't know if you're a planner. You might be a planter or a pantser. That can happen to pantsers and planters. I used to be a planter where I didn't plot anything out way back when, but that definitely could go down. Working on pocket poetry for art walk. Nice. I love poetry. As you know, if you've been on my channel, I'm a poet. So yeah, anything poetry, love it, love it. All right, let me get the stream started with some writing sprints. Let me add the 30-minute timer up here. We're gonna go with my League of the Moors timer. Actually, I'm making some new timers. As we speak, I have to get them uploaded, but that'll probably be for the sprint on Sunday for the new timers. This is one of my favorite ones. All right, I will see everyone in 30 minutes. Happy writing. And that's time. Let me know how you did in the chat. Let's see. I think I'm probably close to another chapter. Let's see where I'm at. Let me make sure I mark my page here. I got about 3 more pages. I finished a chapter and almost done another chapter. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That was on 3. Finished 3. Almost finished 4. It got a little bit better. Somewhat. Only because I guess somewhat dialogue was added, but I've caught a few tense slips, but that can happen sometimes. Nothing egregious, but it's just too much telling for me. Too much telling in this book for me. But oh well, that's a style choice. SD, hi SD. Nice. Do more updates now. Cool. I know you're working on your Kickstarter stuff. I'm reading a book that I have to review. Because I do the get authentic reviews. You have to purchase a book and then um you have to review it and you get points and stuff. So it's one of those books. Oh, the sprint just ended. It just ended. So you're not off that much by it. But yeah, it's called I just forgot the name again. I just told everybody. Brewed Awakening. So like coffee, because I think this author's name is. Wait a minute, she didn't put her name at the top of the chapters. That's crazy. That's an odd choice. You put what chapters at the top of the page instead of your name. Okay, that's different. Okay then. But yeah, let me go back. Her name is it Beth? Beth Coffee, the K, and it's Brewing Awakening. But yeah, it's not bad. It's at a 3 still right now. I just don't like a lot of telling. It's very heavy telling, but not. I don't know if it's done well because I've read plenty of books that has heavy telling. It's not my particular choice, but I've read books that do it well, and it's just that's not measuring up. Yeah, yeah, you came in right in time. 4 pocket poems written. Took the pup outside 3 times because it's nice outside. Oh, that's cool. Sounds very relaxing. As he said, someone show up in my sprints this morning that made me fangirl, but she didn't know. Nice. I think I played the cool. Kate Cross, yeah. Yeah, you had those fangirl moments, fanboy moments. You can do that. You think you played the cool? Yeah, you might have pulled it off. That's too funny. I gotta finish. I do try to finish most of this book tonight. It's not very long though. It's not very long. It is not very long. I guess that's a good thing, probably, because it's just like I don't know. It's not a bad premise. The story. It's like about a family that moved to South Korea, and I'm big into like Korean culture and um, stuff. So I figured it would be a good book for me to read. I think I might have been wrong about that. That's why I picked it, but I don't know. I'm not sure. It's okay. It's not like the worst book I read or anything. Mm. So, but it's taking me. I'm usually a pretty fast read, especially if I'm really into the book. So doing that 30-minute sprints, I read a chapter and almost more than a half the second one, but they're not very long. So like when I started this first sprint, I was on page 13, and I'm on page 22. Almost finished page 22 before we came back. I don't know. I don't know. I just I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to just give it. a chance, but I know I'm at a 3 right now for it. So kind of going to wait and see if I I don't know. Kind of just going to wait and see if it gets better. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know that it won't, but like, not sure. I mean, because you know, if you're a writer and that's your style, you know what I mean, then that's your style. So I don't necessarily expect it to do that. Yeah, me too. Me too. It did get a little bit better. I mean, since the beginning, because like the beginning of the book, like the first 2 chapters was nothing but telling, more or less. And then when it got to the third chapter, it was started being some dialogue mixed in, and I was like, that took a while. So sometimes too much telling can seem like info dumping, and lots of things are happening pretty quickly because and when you do it this way, it kind of makes it where the makes the reader feel like the characters aren't experiencing the stuff. You know what I mean? So you can't really share in their experience and care about the characters as much when you speed them through events in their life to the point where you just say that it happened real quick and then move on. So it's kind of like, considering the premise of the story, I'm not sure that I would have my personal solo written it this short for all the stuff that's going on. Especially if you feel like you gotta just say that this happened and then quickly move on to the next thing, and this thing happened and move on to the next thing. It's like, this feels really rushed for the premise. Some things can be rushed and be fine, but this stuff that's going on here just doesn't seem like that. Where so much so it's not giving you a connection with the character. So anyway, that's me yammering on about this book. We can go ahead and start the next sprint if everyone is ready. And I will add it to the stage. I have to remove this and add this. We're going to use the romantic timer this go around. I'll put on some soft music for you. And I will see you in 30 minutes. Happy writing, reading, editing, or whatever else you are working on. And that's time. Let me know how you did in the chat, what you're working on. I tell you. Um, I don't know. Um, I made the page like 30. Uh, um, so I still got about 130 pages left. It's fine. I said I have until Friday to finish it, so it's not an overly big deal. Bestie said only a couple more updates to send out for the Kickstarter. Yay! Oh my god. I can't take this book, yo. It's probably because when you know a little bit too much about stuff, just it could ruin it a little bit because honestly, it's a little difficult to write a story in someone else's culture, and even if it's very subtle, even if it's placed in that country, let's say, and you're subtly writing within a culture still, uh, I don't know. It's just I don't know, and I think I mean the book has like 2 reviews on it, and it got 5 stars on the reviews, and they like it. But I think it's also because it has like it's romance as well, clearly, and it does. She does warn, I think, that it did have like a sex scene in it or something. So it is like romance with like I guess I didn't get to the part where there's any details or anything like that, but it is sex scene in it. But I'm like, okay, they could maybe they got distracted by that and was like, oh, it just automatically became good because that's what they were there for. But it's not like it's erotica because it isn't. It's just a romance story. So you did, even with erotica, the story needs to be good in my opinion. Like you still need to write a good story, whether you have sex in it or not. So even when I write my erotica, I write the story first. All the sex scenes are written until after I finish the story, but that's my particular style of writing sex scenes. But it's just some of the things in the book doesn't fit with how Korean culture tends to work, and every culture is different. But like some of these things are just factual. Um, in the story, the girl she's a teenager when she moves to South Korea with her family because her father's in the military. Now, this writer she'll just mention events that happen and then just move on to the next thing, which is that's the way you want to write it. That's fine. But some things you don't mention that again you base your story in somewhat of a reality. Obviously, it's fictional because it's not likely anything like this would really occur. Also, everything does not go your way. I mean, we're talking about in life, everything does not go your way. This because you're doing things, unless you're like, maybe really rich people and they weren't rich, I guess they was okay because their dad was military or whatever. But like even then, people have problems. You know what I mean? Not that she doesn't have problems per se, but it's more like the problems that she has is self-made, but they aren't really focused in on at all. And I'm like, one thing that she said in the book that's not believable is she was while a teenager, she was having sexual relations with other high school boys. And that's not exactly like a big thing in South Korea. Asian parents, generally, and even in, let's just say, South Korea, there's no dating really allowed too much in the teenage setting. You better be focused on your studies. Like, you're going to get in for real serious trouble with your parents if they even find out. And then also dating a foreigner. Like, and not, she wasn't even talking about dating. She was talking about just fornication with, because that was kind of like her supposed to be her thing of like dealing with her issues of her parents divorcing, like she was just having sexual relations with other, you know, guys her age at school. And I'm like, and she's like bringing them back to her mom and her apartment. Like, that's not believable. This is not America. I don't know. See, the problem with it is that when you write in someone else's culture, but then you're bringing your life experiences of your culture to a whole nother country. Like, you decide to write about this country, you need to find out how things work. Also, it's not that easy for a foreigner to just fall into place in a whole nother country. The whole entire country is predominantly Korean, and I'm assuming that the female lead's family is Caucasian. Even if that being the case, nothing just works out in every simple facet. It's not believable. So it's kind of like, oh, my mom, and dad got divorced while in another country, and then we weren't living on base anymore. So now she had never mentioned anything about green cards, becoming citizens, or anything like that. And it's like, yeah, unfortunately, those type of details will need to be mentioned if you decide to write in a reality setting, only because of the type of situation that you put the characters in. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to sit there and think about these things per se, because you're kind of pulling me out of the story because you didn't, you know, do this stuff right. But whatever, okay. I guess that's a my thing or whatever. But it's just like, you really do have to think a little bit when you do decide to write a culture you don't understand at all. Everybody's culture does not work like American culture. Like, so don't write every place like it's America. America is not the world. People have different customs and do different things, and they raise their kids differently, and it's so you know what I mean. And it's like everything just there's that thing where they say when you're writing to you could give your character what they wanted, but also take it away. But I, I just and it also is just like everything doesn't work out all the time in the real world. Like, it just does not. Oh, whatever school I wanted to go to, I just got in the school. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but you came from America's schooling system, went to South Korea's schooling system, and everything was just peachy keen. Like, what? But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, I'm just like trying to finish the story because I got too many like, eh. And now it's like to the point where she met a K-pop idol, and I guess she gonna have relations with the K-pop idol, as if that's easy to do, because now you're a foreigner also, and like people follow these people around. Like, what? I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm really annoyed by this book. I'm not even gonna lie. I am annoyed by it because it's making no sense. It's making no sense. Anyway, I'm gonna get the next sprint started up here. Like I said, we're gonna go a little over probably um the usual time mark, because I am going to make sure we finish out the last 30-minute sprint, which should be the last one, and then we'll have a final chat too before we bump out of here. But let me go ahead and get that started. I'm gonna pick a different timer. Let's see. It's one timer I like to use, but I haven't used it because YouTube decided they're gonna put ads on it, which is like, you guys not paying me, so I don't know where you get off, but okay. Anyway, I think I'll use one of my Caliostro timers for this last one. Alrighty, let me share the screen again. Okay, cool. Thanks, SD. Let me add this to the stage. All right, everyone. I will see you in 30 minutes. Happy writing, reading, productivity, whatever you're working on. See you in 30. Alrighty, and that's time. Just in time, too. The timing's impeccable. Indeed. Let me know how you did in the chat if you're still writing, reading, editing, working on something. Let me know if you got done or you still gonna be burning the midnight oil today. I made it to page 45. Not too bad since I started on page 13 when I started sprinting tonight. The book's okay. Like I said, it's probably still gonna get a 3 stars, but 3 stars is still readable, so it's not that bad. At least it's not a 2, or 1, or DNF. I hardly DNF. The book really has to be really, 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 really not for me if it's by DNF, because I don't DNF books very often. So got all the updates out. Awesome. I will check up on that. Oh boy. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I think the book from the first 2 chapters is not much like the book later, the other chapters. And there was a few tense slips throughout at first, but then it eased up and went back to present. But yeah, it is what it is. The stories are written how they're written. So you just have to decide the books for you. Like I said, it's probably gonna be sitting at a 3-star. Usually I don't do video book reviews unless it's really like a 4 or 5-star for me. So this won't be probably getting a video book review, but I'll put the review, of course, like I'm obligated to, on Amazon and Goodreads. Is probably what it'll be. But yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna give it's an okay. But that's where I am. On Sunday when I do my next live stream, I'll be writing because this will be done. I'll probably be reading something right after this because I tend to try to read 65 books a year. So I'm a little behind on finishing those. But it's still going smoothly. I at least usually like to do some of the challenges on Kindle, like, read every day of the week or read X amount of days in the window for the challenge or something like that. So I like to challenge myself on reading like that. So I'm doing those type of challenges. I don't think I have any author interviews coming up just yet. There are some on the scheduling coming up, but I think the one I have concrete date for is in May 17th, with Aphrodite Lee. And then I have, let me see. I know SD, we're supposed to be doing something this Sunday, a live stream chat type thing, right? Yeah, on your channel. I just wanted to, I know we had set the date, but I just wanted to wait till I got all the details from you, how you wanted to flow it or whatever. Make sure I had it all right. And well, just in case you had to change the date, I didn't want to tell everybody. Okay, cool. Yep, that works. I'll make a notice for it for everybody. Oh my goodness, so bad. Whew. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just didn't want to say anything 100 until I heard from you. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Do it whenever you want. Yeah, of course I can. I have a one that I thought was going to happen this month, besides the one with SD Houston, but the person who I'm supposed to do that interview with is reading the book, and her schedule probably is very tight. So I'm not sure we're going to be doing it this month because the month isn't much longer. So I'm assuming that it's going to be a May thing, which I have to message her and touch base with her and see about when, so that way it doesn't coincide with any of my other plans and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that one's supposed to be with Harpies in the Trees. She did a reading way back when The Room Within released, and I love her channel, so I'm very excited to be over there as well, and excited to do this live stream with SD, one of my favorite people here on YouTube, and then the one with Aphrodite Lee as well. I always love all the interviews I've done so far. Like, I love talking about Caliostro. I love hanging with the people who I have a lot of general respect for. So I am looking forward to doing any of the ones coming up. But I'll try to keep everybody up to date what I'm doing. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I will see you all Sunday on SD's channel. And then also for my live streams later that night. And that's also the fourth. One, two, three. That's the fourth Sunday. So Layer of the Mistress will come out on that day as well. Of course, thank you for being here. And I'm happy where I got in the book tonight. I'm pretty happy with that, but happy that I got there. Alrighty, all. I will see you on Sunday. Until then, stay scared.